Hey, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Airtable. It doesn't really fit into a screenshot and a tiny description, so I figured I'd just make a quick little video. This is Airtable. It's basically kind of like a spreadsheet. You've got your rows, you got your columns, you got your information. But the cool thing about it is that you can take all that spreadsheet information, turn it into lots of different views. So, for example, this is my year at a glance. I teach 5 different courses. So that takes quite a bit of planning, and I got to stay on top of it. So I'll plan out my whole year, and I can look at it in this beautiful timeline view. It's separated by class. I can see every lesson, what day it's going to be on. I can see if my units break down nicely with like fall break, Thanksgiving break, based on the colors. The colors here are the units, but I can also zoom in on that, and I can go look at this week, and I can see these are all the lessons that I am teaching this week or that I have coming up. And then I can click on those, expand the record, and get more information about that particular lesson. Like there's a link to a lesson plan for that one. So all of that information is stored here. But all of these lessons, they are linked to, or on this page, they're linked to an actual lesson document, which is housed over here in the lessons table. And I can sort these um, by course. So they're all grouped by course right now. And let's see, if I look at AP Calculus BC, I can then see them all in their units. So I only have 4 lessons in my first unit, um, but I can see every unit. And with these lessons, I have things linked like the standards that they cover, which I also house in a table. So it's going to tell me exactly what standards are covered. And then if I go look at standards, I can see what standards are in what lessons. It tells me the order of the lessons that I need to be going in, all the activities for that lesson, a link to the lesson plan, whether or not my planning is complete, how much time that one is supposed to take. So if I need to add more takeaway, or if I have like a half day that I can do that in, um, all that kind of stuff is housed in the lessons. And all those lessons are built off activities. So activities, I've got them all here. I've got all sorts of different types like practices, notes, discussions, journals, all that kind of stuff. And then it also links to all the resources I use for those. So those could be documents, that could be YouTube videos, that could be websites, anything that I use. I can link here in assets, and we'll go look at those in a minute. But those link to the lessons as well. I can select whether I want that to be graded or not, what type of grade it's going to be, when the due date is going to be for that, and how long it's going to take during class, so I can see how long my lesson is going to be in total. And all those activities use assets or like resources, so I store those over here. And in this table, I can check whether or not I need to do something for that resource, so it'll flag me when I'm getting ready to teach that lesson. I can also select what type of resource it is. If it's a document, I can upload an attachment, like here's a practice, a link to the editable document for that, as well as the activities it's used in, a key if it needs a key, a view mode. So, like in Google Classroom, if you want students to view it, if you want students to copy it, or if you want students to be able to edit it, there's an edit. I can select that here. Also select if those are going to be printed or not, and if they are supposed to be printed, how they're supposed to be printed. So double-sided, hole punched, anything like that. That way I can quickly send an email to our print lady with all of that information. And it also links to a course and the number of students I get to use for the print information, which takes me to my print queue. It'll sort all that out, see which ones need to be printed and are coming up soon. It'll give me the link and the PDF and how many copies I need of each of those things. And actually, I just got finished printing those, so I check them off and they're done. But the best thing about this whole deal is that it manages my Google Classroom. I think I'm up to 12-ish Google Classrooms because I teach 5 different classes and I've got several different clubs. So all of those have Google Classrooms and it's a lot to manage. So what I can do is I can build my Google Classroom posts in here, and with one click of a button, I can send it to any or all Google Classrooms that I want to. So I do that by deciding if it's going to be an assignment or a material, or I can also do a question, but I don't do those very often. I do choose what lesson it's going with, so I can link it for later years. Um, I choose the activity that's going with that. So it'll take all those resources off the activity, the courses that it's going to go to, the unit that it's in, the topic that it needs to go to, when it's going to be due. It'll look up from the activity, how many points it's worth, all that kind of stuff. And it automatically sends it out. And I can even schedule it to send right here. I can choose a scheduled date to send that on. And it always goes out at 7:15 in the morning for all my classes, so it will be consistent and I don't have to remember to do that. Now, dealing with all of this looks like a lot, and it is. So Airtable is really cool because it lets you build interfaces to do lesson planning. So I'm actually going to X out of this and get back into it. That way we can see what it looks like from the get-go. So this is my lesson planner interface. I can plan my lessons, I can plan my units, or I can look at my calendar. We'll just look at the lessons part of it. So when I'm planning a lesson, like say I'm going to plan a lesson from scratch, all right? I want to plan my next BC Calc lesson. So I'm going to go to my list, find it there. It's going to pull up all of my units and my lessons from BC Calculus. So you can see all of the different units are here. 11 units, it's a lot. So for each unit, I can see the lessons. Green means I've already finished them. This orangish red means I still need to work on that. So for my limits test, I actually haven't done anything yet. You can see that it is blank. So what I would do for that is say I need a lesson plan. Okay, so I would add a new record, make a lesson plan. I would put the name in there. This is the limits test lesson plan. I would say, yes, I need to work on that thing. This is, in fact, a lesson plan. Once I have it done, I can attach it up here. Then I can link it to whatever Google Doc I'm using. I don't actually have one created, or I would link it there. But then it's always going to save that my lesson plan is housed right here. And once I actually have a link, I can click this button. It'll take me to the lesson plan. I can also link it to standards from my standards list. I can add activities. So I would say the activity for this is going to be the limits tests. There's not one yet, so I add it there. And I say the limit test is an assessment, I think is the thing on this list. That's an assessment. I need to do some action on it. I'm going to need to make a resource that's the limits test because I'm new to this. Oh, so we want to do limit test. We'll do add a new record for that. And then I'll say, yes, this is graded. It's going to be a major grade. The date we're doing it on is the 22nd, so I want to make it due on the 22nd. I can put any notes that I want about it. The class time, this is going to take all class, so that's 90 minutes. And then all of this stuff is just kind of automated. So then I'll know that that's what I'm doing that day. It's going to take all class, so I don't have to add anything else. And then I can check that that needs to be worked on, the limits test. So here's my asset, the limits test. It needed to be worked on. So down here, I can see this is the thing that I need to work on. I know nothing about it yet. So I have to go build that document, bring it back here, and check it there. And then I can add an assignment to the Google Classroom if I want to. If I want this to be a Google form, I can add it as an assignment there. And then once I'm all done, I click Planning Complete. And if everything is ready to go, all my assets and activities are good, and I click Planning Complete, then this will turn green. But not everything's ready yet, so it didn't. So that plans the whole lesson for me, and it's saved year to year. And all I got to do when the new year comes around is reschedule all those Google Classroom posts, and I'm basically done. So this is a fantastic interface, but it is self-built. So it would take a lot of extra work on someone's part to be able to finish this out. But thanks for watching. If you made it this long, Airtable is really cool, and it's got a lot of potential, and I absolutely love it. Could not work without it.